afternoon, everyone. My name is Chelsea Opong, and today we'll be diving into my personal journey through leadership development. A journey containing my understanding of my personal values and how I apply that to my major of journalism, utilization of the relational leadership models, examples of becoming a change agent, my critical thinking skills, and learning to both accept and give feedback. All that and more on this week's URI Leadership Live. In this classroom was where I discovered my personal value statement, a statement that uncovered my passion for being a servant to citizens through my major of journalism. As stated in my value statement, I am a servant leader who is a journalist working to bring positivity to the world and share others' beauty and excellence for not only my own benefit, but theirs as well. Through writing and interviews I've conducted these past 4 years for stories, I believe that this minor has allowed me to effectively be a journalist that stands by these values. I had the chance to interview Robert Vincent on his perspective of me and how I've continued to live out my personal value statement. Robert?
Hey Chelsea, thinking about what you were asking me about, I'm thinking about your value statement, and it reminds me of flight, but everything is a story, and as a journalism major, I think that's really kind of cool for you. To look at yourself, I remember you talking about being a servant leader, and if I take your why and put it in that way, I always look at that appreciation of beauty and excellence. And I think that really tells your story, especially with positivity. I remember you all the way back from Welcome Day, my little black books, signing in, and one of the peer leaders that day created a lollipop moment for you, and I know that we talked about that a lot in flight. And what do you know, for your learning contract, you were a leadership ambassador, and wow, you're one of the best tour guides out there right now. So here's an evolution of your leadership and your passion for creating whys and lollipop moments for other students, which is really cool.
One of the leadership models I related to most is the relational leadership models. Here in the HARD Forum, in the MCSSC, during the Multicultural Overnight program, I met a lot of prospective students. Some who had really outgoing personalities, like myself, and some who were more reserved and to themselves. Through my knowledge of the relational leadership model, I was able to be inclusive of everyone. During a game called Speed Dating, prospective students could ask us current students questions about the university. Having students who had all different experiences allowed for empowerment to happen. Giving the students my experience at URI so far compared to another would allow them to see that they could find their home anywhere on campus and be purposeful. I had the pleasure of speaking with coordinator of the MOP, Caitlin Cotter, on her perspective of me as a volunteer for the MOP. Caitlin?
Hi Chelsea. I think that you are a fantastic volunteer. You've been volunteering for our multicultural overnight program since you were a freshman here at URI, and you are a very charismatic and exuberant volunteer. I really think it's great to have witnessed you being a high school senior participating in the MOP, and then to witness kind of that full circle moment of you starting at URI and volunteering and essentially giving back to the program that brought you onto campus. So I've really enjoyed watching that.
Becoming a URI 101 mentor began my journey to becoming a change agent at the university. I started as a URI 101 mentor in this classroom to communicative disorder students. Although I did not know much about this major, being able to impact the students in a positive way to find their place at URI and find their place in their major was what made it all the more worthwhile. I continued being a mentor into my junior and now senior year. Because of the positive experience I had during my freshman year, I found that I was able to give back that same feeling to each group of individuals to help model the way for them to become better acquainted with URI, many of which have gone off to be leaders in the URI community. I spoke with Dave LaValle on his experiences working with me in the classroom. Dave?
So, hi Chelsea. You were an absolute pleasure to work with. You helped create a feeling of enthusiasm for the business of journalism, and that's no small thing these days because journalism is kind of being poo-pooed as a not very promising career when it's probably never been more important than it is today. For me, you were a breath of fresh air every class session that we met. I felt as though things were going to be fine because Chelsea was in the house.
As the Recruitment and Retention Coordinator for the URI Student Entertainment Committee, SEC for short, I take part in making decisions in order to effectively help build relationships with both our general members and within our executive board. In order to effectively make these decisions, I follow these 5 decision-making methods: informing, controlling, coordinating, mediating, and synthesizing. An example of when I have used these is when I coordinated the fall and spring retreats. During these retreats is a chance for our current executive board members to bond with any of our new executive board members. I generally inform our executive board members of when and where our retreat will be, about a month prior. I make this decision in order to make sure the majority can attend and will know what to expect out of the retreat. I make decisions on what I will control and what tasks I will let others control. For instance, I let our graduate assistant, Jordan, come up with a team bonding activity. When deciding what I will control and what others will, I will also coordinate with our chairperson and our advisor on the timeline of events, making sure that each activity is given the proper amount of time. During retreat, we generally do not have many issues that take place, but in order to keep that going, I implement a rule called Challenge by Choice, which reminds everyone that each person has the right to be involved in activity as much or as little as they wish, so there's no judgment made. At the end, I set time for everyone to share their thoughts and feelings from the day, things they like and things they didn't like or learn from another. I had the pleasure of speaking with SEC advisor Michael J. Nolf on his experiences working with me on retreat. Michael?
Hey, Chelsea. I was super impressed with the way that you approached the semester. Both semesters, when you were away studying abroad, like you were in contact with us, and even over the summer you were making plans like how you could prepare for the recruitment meeting, which turned out really well, great turnout. And then the retreats were just fantastic. I mean, they were planned out perfectly. The students really were engaged. I know the feedback was really positive for the fall retreat. We were really pleased with everything that went. There was no drama. Everybody really learned things. They really bonded, had a good time. And then even more recently with the February retreat that we had, again, a really smooth transition for the new people that came on board, as well as keeping the senior members interested and engaged. We're going to really miss you. You've done a terrific job. The recruitment has been really strong this year, and the retention is also, we really haven't had the turnover that we've had in some previous years. So I just want to say thank you, congratulate you. I know you're going to do really well, but your leadership skills, specifically with the retreats, has been amazing. So thank you very much.
Being a journalism major, you will consistently be either giving feedback to another for a story someone else has written, or receiving feedback on a story you've written yourself. During my time as a writer for the Good 5 Cent Cigar, I received tons of feedback from my editor and from those who read my story after it came out. I learned to give feedback based on how others gave me feedback. This allowed me to effectively know how to give and receive feedback in the best way and to learn from my mistakes and from others. Currently, working with the Cigars newscast, I continue to give and receive feedback on the video packages I created. I spoke with Good 5 Cent Cigars video editor Jessica Pace on her experiences with giving me feedback and sharing feedback with others. Jess?
Hi, Chelsea. You really put that foot forward of hey, I'm gonna take initiative and I'm gonna really kill this and do whatever I can to make the best product and keep the campus informed. Anybody would be lucky to have you on their team and to work in broadcast with them because you really take criticism well. The newscast was just so lucky to have you.
And the journey has come to a close, but a new journey awaits me. I'm thankful to have been a part of this minor of leadership studies at the University of Rhode Island to learn more about my skills, my strengths, and my values that accompany my new leadership identity. I am currently applying for jobs across the country in regards to broadcast journalism, being a multimedia reporter. Thank you again for joining us. I'm your host, Chelsea Opong, signing off.